This is Valley News Live at 5.
New for you now at 5. Fargo police have named the man they say shot 3 people at a downtown bar early Sunday morning. Police say they need your help locating this man, 43-year-old Brandon Grant, who they say is considered armed and dangerous. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley joins us live now from the Bismarck Tavern with what bartenders say happened. Bailey?
Yeah, Andrea, bartenders say that it all kind of ended. Sunday morning's chaos ended right here at the back of the bar. I'm just off of 6th Avenue and Roberts Street. They say the fight kind of happened by the pool tables. That's right on the other side of this back door here. And they say a bit of shouting happened, and then all of a sudden about 10 gunshots rang out. Now, bartenders say one victim took about 5 gunshots to his body, while the other 2 victims took about 1 or 2 rounds to their bodies. Now, Fargo police say all 3 victims are still in the hospital, but they say the good news is that none of them have suffered any life-threatening injuries. Now, bartenders also tell me that Brandon Grant was banned from ever stepping foot into the Bismarck Tavern a long time ago. They say he is very well known for causing trouble and starting fights here. They say that they hope he is found and arrested soon before anybody else gets hurt or killed. Live in downtown Fargo tonight, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
All right, thank you, Bailey. Grant was the center of an hours-long standoff in September 2019 near NDSU. He was convicted and later sentenced to just under a year in jail. West Fargo police need some help solving a case at a tattoo parlor. Someone shot out the windows at Shades of Grey Tattoos. The vandalism was discovered Saturday morning around 11 a.m. No one was inside at the time and no one was injured. If you know something about the incident, call West Fargo police at this phone number, 433-5500. Authorities are charging a man with arson in connection with a fire that caused a great deal of damage to a Detroit Lakes business in late December. It happened at Wold's RV Sales on Highway 10 on December 29th. The building was consumed by fire, with flames shooting 10 to 12 feet in the air. 42-year-old Daniel Kaufman is charged with second-degree arson and theft after his truck was connected to the fire and the theft of a new fish house. Investigators seized Kaufman's phone and found several incriminating internet searches. If convicted, he faces up to 20 years in prison. If there is any day this week we should enjoy, I think today is it. Hard to believe the temps we're seeing. Let's check in with Hutch for a look at this evening. Hey, Hutch.
Thanks, Andrea. It's a beautiful way to start the week after the cold stretch we've been through. But as you see crawling across the bottom of your screen right now, we have some changes on the way. First alert weather day has been issued by our team for Tuesday as we're expecting some snow. Now, there is a winter weather advisory for Tuesday in the afternoon through Tuesday in the afternoon and evening, as we will see snow make its way through the Highway 200 and Highway 2 corridor. But let's focus on today first. We'll have more details on the weather system in a bit. Gorgeous temperatures today that reach the 50s in portions of the central Dakotas. 48 in Jamestown today, 47 in Grand Forks. Incredible weather does continue. No signs of this unsettled weather yet, but it will take place by morning. Some of us will see some snow showers developing. Temperatures this evening in Fargo in the 30s for most of it. It'll be breezy out there, 10 to 25 miles per hour for most of us. And in Grand Forks, expect temperatures to be stunning through the evening. I'll have details on the onset of snow, when it ends, how much you can expect in your neighborhood, and the impacts that snow will bring here in just a couple of moments.
All right, thanks, Hutch. Charges have now been filed against an Otter Tail County Sheriff's deputy after a high-speed chase that killed 2 people in Fergus Falls. Deputy Kelly Backman was chasing a suspect who had several felony warrants. Cody Freitag blew through a stop sign and hit another car, killing both people inside. A blood test indicated Deputy Backman had fentanyl in his system at 3 times the therapeutic dose. He has been charged with misconduct by a police officer and 4th-degree DWI. Grand Forks Police K-9 Shelby is getting red carpet treatment after tracking down a shoplifter. Officers responded to a shoplifting call at Shields just after 8 Saturday night. Police tracked down the shoplifter's car, and the suspects had already taken off on foot. Officers arrested one suspect right away. The other ran to the parking lot of a nearby apartment complex. Officers set up a perimeter and had K-9 Shelby track down the remaining suspect. Shelby found that person hiding under a vehicle about 2 blocks away. Senate lawmakers are weighing testimony from Judge Merrick Garland, President Biden's nominee for Attorney General. In the first of 2 days of confirmation hearings, Judge Garland gets an opportunity to lay out his agenda for how he will lead the Department of Justice. This comes 4 years after Republicans denied Judge Garland a hearing as a nominee to the Supreme Court under the Obama administration. Testifying before the Senate Judiciary Committee, Judge Garland pledges to ensure equal justice under the law and stresses that he will handle cases independent of any political influence.
The president has promised that those decisions will only be made by the Attorney General, and that is what I plan to do. I do not plan to be interfered with by anyone. I expect the Justice Department will make its own decisions in this regard.
Judge Garland, who currently serves on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia, is expected to receive bipartisan support in his confirmation process. Speaking to reporters today, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says the president's speech will focus on the human toll that the pandemic has taken and not on specific updates. Psaki also says the president will order all flags to be flown at half-staff for the next 5 days to honor the victims, and a moment of silence will be observed. Regarding the deadly winter storm that ravaged Texas, Psaki announced that President Biden is getting updates from his national security team and is eager to visit the state with possible travel as early as this week.
And he wants to go and show his support. He also is fully aware of the footprint of a president of the United States and everything that comes with that, traveling to a disaster area. But we are hopeful that that trip can happen as early as this week.
Psaki says the president believes the American people can turn the tide on this pandemic by working together and following public health guidelines after hitting a grim COVID milestone. Speaking of that milestone, today we are learning that the milestone of grieving the number of lives lost from COVID-19 has topped 500,000 virus deaths, with the real total likely higher. That's roughly 1 in 670 Americans. 300,000 people died in the U.S. in the first 10 months of the pandemic, and nearly 200,000 more have died just since mid-December. David Bagnod reports from Los Angeles, where the COVID emergency is still very real.
It's grown to the point that we actually have to give a reservation code to a family just so that they could be seen.
Meet Ken McKenzie.
The poor churches as well are so backlogged.
When people call him, he says they usually want to interview him to decide if they want to use his services. But now,
The first question is, are you taking cases? The panic in their voice is just so sad.
McKenzie runs his own funeral home here in Long Beach, California. He says even with cases declining, he is busier now than at any other point in the pandemic.
A year ago, people were complaining about not finding toilet paper and hand sanitizers. This time of year, we're concerned because we're running out of granite for headstones.
She gave COVID to her sister, and now the sister died, and we're mimicking the same funeral.
I've been doing this since I was 19 years old. Those words that come so easily, I struggle with lately.
Among the nearly 500,000 people who have died with COVID-19, these are just some of the faces of the people McKenzie and his team have cared for in death, including 3 members of the Rangel family who McKenzie cremated.
In a span of 16 days, all 3 of them passed due to COVID.
Luis, Jerry, and Alma Rangel.
My sister was alone. We had to watch her on an iPad take her last breath. I had to ask a doctor that I didn't know to hold her hand for me because I couldn't be there for her.
It was the Rangel family walking into his funeral home with back-to-back deaths that just broke him.
I have never broke down. I'm supposed to be the professional, and it was yet another death with the same family, and I sat there and cried with them.
What was it that made you break down?
It's just hopeless. It's like unreal.
I gotta say, listening to you is such a reality check, but I'm just waiting for the trolls who will watch this and say, it's nothing but fear-mongering.
When you say trolls, I like that you said that, because that's, to me, someone that just is not informed, that's under a bridge, that's hiding, that doesn't want to face the truth. I'm hoping these words today hit home to those people.
Today at sunset, President Biden is planning to make remarks at a candlelight vigil
honoring the nearly 500,000 people killed by COVID in this country. Mr. Biden will be joined by the First Lady, the Vice President, and the Second Gentleman. Again, it's set to start at sundown. David Begnaud, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Senator Amy Klobuchar says misinformation about the virus and vaccine will only make things worse. She joined a doctor from Allina Health to address what the World Health Organization has called an infodemic.
Right now, a lot of people still can't get the vaccine, but there's people who do qualify for it now who are deciding not to get it. And so it not only is bad for all of us when that happens, but it also makes it less efficient, because then maybe they'll decide a few months later they want it. And it's just not the right way to do this.
Last month, Senator Klobuchar sent letters to social media companies urging them to take more action on stopping the spread of misinformation on their platforms. Valley News Live is teaming up with MakeAWish for their Miles for Smiles drive this Thursday. All week, we will be introducing you to amazing local Wish kids who you can help take flight by donating your unused United or Delta airline miles. Tonight on Valley News Live at 9 and 10, we'll meet Reese, a 13-year-old whose wish to go surfing in Australia came true. An NDSU fraternity is stationed outside the Loaf and Jug for the next 5 days, raising money for a good cause. Alpha Tau Omega is standing out in the cold for 120 hours to raise money for the Fargo-Moorhead charity Down Home. It furnishes homes for those who are just emerging from poverty. The goal this year, $15,000. One member says he wants to help out his new community in any way that he can.
I'm not from Fargo originally, but now that I've got here, I want to help the community in any way I can. It's just such a great place to be.
And you can find the students outside the Loaf and Jug collecting money until 11:59 Friday evening. And be sure to tune in as the Bison take on Southern Illinois on Saturday for their second game of the spring season. The Farmers Union Insurance pregame show starts at 11:30, taking you all the way up to kickoff at noon. You can catch all the action on KVLY. A popular audio chat room app has been hacked. How someone has been snooping on the private conversations is next.
What a visual this morning. Gorgeous rising sun. It was fiery in the sky as we headed through the afternoon. Temperatures soared for many of us to levels that caused a few complaints to roll in from local snowmen and snow people. Summer Schnellbach, our very own, capturing this photo. We'll have details on what might make this fella happy here in one moment.